The Warlords game mode is a modular system that you can use to make missions of basically any size. Be it a mission to capture a single town, or an entire capture the island mission. The scalability of the game mode is great. It's also really easy to build a Warlords mission. The modules you place down in a way that makes perfect sense to even beginner users, and provided you do some thinking about the value of each of the points, the missions can come out pretty balanced without much effort. The mode has a maximum group size with your AI of 10, which means that managing all of the fiddly things with AI is avoided. You don't have to scroll through the menus or anything like that, which is good. 10's a perfect number for a single squad as well, so making tactical decisions on the fly is a bit easier, and it allows you to make use of the group system within Arma 3's AI controls. Overall, I think it's a great way to learn how to use AI if you're new to the game. The airdrop system is a game changer. Allowing players to drop in supplies and vehicles on the battlefield is a great way to bring assets in a balanced way and keep the scenario moving. The UI is also really tidy, although it's somewhat limited in its functionality. Unfortunately though, it's not all sunshine and roses. There are a few issues that I have with the game mode. To be honest though, most of the issues of the module are small ones, and I think it could be fixed with just a few small tweaks. A balance issue that we found with our playtesting is that the game mode gets really unbalanced if you have different numbers of players on each side. Having 150 CP every minute per player means that a team with one extra player can have 4,500 more CP every half hour. After a while, the sheer weight of assets on that team just overwhelms the other one. This probably is a really simple one to fix though. Basically all we need to be able to do is divide the amount of CP evenly between the players for each team. It would mean that you'd have to add higher CP numbers for capturing points, but it would remove the balance issues that you get when you have 3 versus 2 players and things like that. Another issue that we found when adapting the game mode for use with mods is that there are several places where functions are hard-coded to use certain things in the config files. Vehicle patrols, for example, are coded to only use specific config names that the default game uses, which means it's completely fine for using default factions or mods that are using the same layout as the game's default factions, but it's a bit harder to fix if you're using mods like RHS, where they've broken down the groups in a different way. So once again, this one just needs a little fix to get it working, but I think it's going to be a little harder to do. We need to either allow mission makers to specify group configs, or find a better way of searching for groups in the config files so that we can get all the vehicles out regardless of how the layout of the mod is. An additional issue that I've found when trying to convert mods that use independent factions, like the US in IFA 3, is that the game can't load units from the independent factions into the requisition screens. Once again, this might be a little harder to fix given the way the game mode works, and I think this is something more inherent to the way Arma 3 is designed, using sides rather than specific factions. That might be another video in of its own. Overall, I find the Warlords module falls into the same issue that a lot of Arma 3 modules have fallen into in the past. They work really well in that limited scope that they were originally intended for, but if you want to make anything extra with them, if you want to add to the game mode a little bit yourself, you basically need to rip all the functions out and use them yourself, and basically build your own game mode from scratch. I think it's a great little system for learning how to make these kinds of missions, and it's a really good one for building quick missions on the fly if you just want something quick to play with your friends. To summarise then, the Arma 3 Warlords module is a good addition to the game. It gives you some decent tools with which you can build quick missions with relative ease, and the shortcomings of the module basically all boil down to a lack of adaptability. I think that this is an excellent addition to the game, and I'm going to be making a bunch more missions using it in future.